RRB NTPC. The notification was out, but a lot of students are now eagerly waiting for the dates to be announced. When can it be predicted that when will it be conducted next year, right? It's a very prestigious, one of the largest recruiters of the country and a very prestigious government job. So we'll go through the complete detailed understanding. We'll predict an exam date, and we will also go through the syllabus, the whatever pointers are involved here, and what can be a good strategy to start your preparation for the same. So the railways has now turned to the annual calendars. So the annual calendars are making stuff pretty much predictable now. The calendars are releasing the notifications. There's a short notice first, and there's a detailed CEN which is being released. Okay, then the dates are announced, right? So that is how things are progressing every year. So based on that, we can roughly assume the date to be somewhere around so there are two expectations here. If the expectation from previous year is just carried forward, probably in the month of May or June 2026, you can expect your CBT1 to be conducted, and then 2 months or a month later than that. So September, October somewhere you can consider the CBT2, and then 2 to 3 months later in November, December, your CBAT or skill test or whatever, etc. the other exams which need to be conducted. And the UG exams will follow almost a month later from these dates, right? So graduate and undergraduate, that's how they work. Usually they have a gap of 25 to 30 days in between them. But an earlier expectation is also that this year, from the start of the fiscal year itself, the railways is probably trying to time its examination. So you can expect the CBT1 in around April to May zone also. So April, May, June. So these 3 months, tenure, keep these 3 months in mind, and that is how you can progress further. You can expect it around that zone. So prepare your timeline. If you are expecting it somewhere, let's say I'm expecting it in June. So my timeline should be around, let's say, so my timeline should be fixed slightly before that, so that I'm done and dusted before it, well before it. Now here the timeline is assuming the exam is in July, so we will be preparing for the next 6 months starting from December. Okay. Now, what is the multi-stage examination? Understanding the terrain means what has happened here is the theme of this session is basically like you're climbing a mountain. You're going to the summit. So how everything will be planned, that's how I'm going to take you through this. So we have to first understand the terrain. That means we have to understand what sort of area are we foraying into. Now I'm talking in detail about this railways exam, specifically keeping in mind the people who are going to now start afresh for the first time in their life for any railway based exams. So there are 3 major stages which you are going to go through. CBT1, that is computer based test 1, CBT2, computer based test 2, and a skill test. Okay. Now skill test may be typing based for some people it may be CBAT, for some people it may be nothing. You can just clarify after stage 2 only. Depends from post to post. Now in stage 1 is qualifying in nature. Stage 1 is strictly qualifying in nature. There are 100 questions asked of 100 marks each. 90 minutes is the timeline, and 1/3 negative marking is there. Okay, 1/3 negative marking is there. Stage 1 will consist of the 3 subjects: GK, GS, Quant, and Reasoning. Okay, from stage 1 to stage 2, that is CBT2, subject combination is the same, but the number of questions will slightly change. So you will still get 90 minutes here, but the number of questions will increase to 120. So that is going to make it slightly more challenging, because in the same time lot, if you have to attend these questions, this will become slightly more challenging. Okay. The level is also going to slightly change. So this is 120 marks, and this is 1/3 mark is negative marking. Okay. Once you're done with this, your major merit is going to be based on these 2 stages. Your major merit is going to be based on these 2 stages. If at all you are going for a post which consists of a CBAT. CBAT is what? CBAT is basically psychometric test of previous years. Earlier, railways used to conduct this as a psychometric test specifically for exams like ALP or under NTPC for station master, for traffic apprentice, or for section controller separately altogether. CBAT is conducted to analyze or to assess your mental well-being, whether you are fit for this role or not. Okay, educational well-being is understood, but mentally are you fit to do this job or not? Is your cognition very good? Are you able to decide very fast? Are you able to make foolproof decisions? Fail-safe decisions. So, and how quick are you able to do that? So that is tested here in CBAT. CBAT is computer-based aptitude test. It's basically a new name for psychometric test. And from this year onwards, that is from last year onwards, the CBAT has the structure and approach has changed. So that's a major change which you can see here. Or there'll be a typing test for wherever you are sitting for clerk cum typist post. You will also have to go through a typing skill test. Here there is no negative marking, and 30% of this score is considered in your final merit for these particular posts, right? So your merit will be based on these two, and this is just a qualifying test. Cool. Now, what are the subjects involved? So yeah, so I have already told you, screening versus merit. CBT1 is a screening test, it is qualifying in nature, and CBT2 is a merit decider, right? And final merit is CBT2 plus skill test wherever it is applicable. Now, what are the subjects involved? The subjects which we are talking about here, they are mathematics, general intelligence and reasoning, and general awareness. Now, every year Railways has a strategy to approach their questions in a way that, if I'm talking specifically about logical reasoning, a lot of you are also parallelly preparing for other exams, for other competitive exams, right? And you feel that the syllabus is somewhat similar, so what's the point of preparing separately for another exam? We will stick to what we know and we will continue. The problem is the question types change here. The topics will be the same, but the way Railways puts across the questions is slightly or majorly different from how other competitive exams like SSC put it across, right? So yes, they are somewhat, there is an intersection here, right? There is a gap, there is a common point, and you will benefit if you prepare for both the exams simultaneously. But when the exam occurs, when the exam is approaching, you will have to become more exam centric, specific exam centric. The logics, the patterns involved in Railways is much different from what you see in SSC and vice versa. So your approach has to be different here. Also, emphasis is laid on some particular topics here. The overall syllabus may be the same, but some particular topics like puzzles, like input output, may find more mention here than SSC, right? So your preparation also needs to be tweaked accordingly. Mathematics, general intelligence, reasoning, and general awareness. It's a common saying that general awareness is the deciding factor in Railways examination majorly. Okay, let's see how. So for mathematics, again, arithmetic, for a very long time, arithmetic was only the focus zone. They were not very much reliant on advance. Even now, they are not extremely advance heavy. Unlike other exams, they will ask you advanced based questions, but slightly in limit. So number system, decimal, fraction, LCM, HCF, board mass, ratio, proportion. So board mass can be considered under simplification. That's another topic altogether in Railways. Ratio, proportion, percentage, mensuration, time and work, time and distance, SICI, profit loss, and others. Of course, this is an exhaustive list. Basically, you can keep adding topics here. Advanced elementary algebra, geometry, trigonometry, elementary statistics. Right. Now, when I talk of logical reasoning, I am talking about analogies, number alphabetical series, coding, decoding, mathematical operators, syllogism, jumbling, Venn diagrams, data sufficiency, puzzles. So these become important aspects of railway examinations as far as your logical reasoning is concerned. Apart from that, they are regular only. Okay, and this also becomes a very important part of it. So statement conclusion, statement course of action, it's not this only. So other decision making, I'll put the whole critical reasoning basically. Now Railways is also, heavily emphasizing on this. We have other topics here as well. Again, as I told you, this is just an indicative list, right? So the appearance may be similar to what the other exams are putting across, but actually when you dive deeper, you will understand that these pointers, these topics are presented in a very different way when they are formed in a question form. Okay. And GKG is the game changer, as they all call it. So current affairs, right, from the last 12 months mostly is recommended. 6 to 8 months is compulsory at least. General science, again in railway based examinations, they often say that general science has a lot of value. Okay, so 10th CBSE level is what they expect. Physics, chemistry and biology. Social sciences, of course, Indian history, geography, polity, Indian economy, everything is covered here. And static GK, art and culture, monuments, UN organizations, computer basics, transport systems, everything is taken care of here. Computer basics will not study it separately, we'll merge it here only if at all a few questions come up. So this becomes your game changer. Even your weightage wise, this is more important, right? So now let's look at what will be our planning. How will we go ahead? Right? How will we proceed further? So we have divided our preparation plan into 3 major phases. Okay. So phase 1 is we are setting a base camp. Phase 2 is we are gaining altitude. And phase 3 we are reaching the summit. Okay. So this is our preparation plan, how it is going to look like? So phase 1, when we are building a base camp, that means we have concept building. We are building all our concepts. Now this is from the perspective of those students who are actually starting their railway preparation for the first time, for the first 1 to 3 months. So for the first 3 months, basically, if you have a 6-month journey, for the first 3 months, strictly focus on concept building from ground zero if possible. And it is very much possible to achieve it in 3 months. I know that, you know, a lot of people might have told you otherwise, that foundation courses last very long and you need at least 8 to 9 months to prepare. I agree. For extreme freshers, 8 to 9 months is a recommended timeline. But now if you have decided that you want to start and you want to reach here, it's not impossible. In the first 3 months, you can decide to go through the course slightly quickly. Okay, and in that case, if you're focusing exclusively on the railway exams, that helps, right? In phase 2, when we are talking about building speed and accuracy, so here we have understood the concept and we have partially worked on accuracy as well, but only accuracy exclusively. When we are reaching here, we are pushing. So we are solving these individual skill tests, or we are solving these individual sectional tests where we are pushing our limits in terms of speed. This is going to distort a bit initially. Your preparation balance is going to distort here, but then again you have to bring it on track so that from here you have achieved the speed and accuracy balance. Okay, by the time you have reached here, your mock marathon means the last so this is month 4 and 5 is going here. The last 45 days, approximately a month or less than that rather, I would say, you are only exclusively solving mocks. Okay, so this stage is subjective. That means depending on this stage, this will be decided. If I want 45 days here, I will reduce some days from here also depending on the announced dates, right? So you will only attempt mocks and you will deeply analyze those mocks to understand where you are going wrong, because this, once you reach here, it's not the end. You are practically starting again. How? So you are going through the analysis part. Once you are understanding that this particular topic I am lacking at, I am having a weakness, you will go back to this point for that particular topic, build again and reach here. So you'll have to keep identifying those topics and keep reaching here in the last 45 days so that revision is up to the mark and you are here for the complete preparation program. That is the basic idea. Okay, that is how you are supposed to process. Now, there are some few pointers which you can keep in mind for every phase. So for phase 1, you can think that you are not just solving, you are mastering your mental math tricks. So see, when you're concept building, you will learn how to solve the questions, okay? But your focus has to be on parallel studying. Parallel means at one end you're studying the basics, on the other hand you're parallelly focusing on how to become better at it simultaneously. That means how to become faster, how to push for faster calculation. Some conventional methods need to be ditched, so that you will have to identify initially some multiplication methods, addition methods, common calculation tricks which you use. You'll have to drop those and try to adapt to the newer techniques. The more you come out of your comfort zone, the better you're going to feel about the overall preparation. For reasoning, you have to lay special focus on puzzle, syllogism, order ranking based arrangements, sitting arrangements, etc. Because these questions eventually, if you leave it for later, they are going to be time consuming. And railways lays special emphasis on these topics plus critical reasoning. So you have to go through these in thorough detail in the very initial stages itself. As I repeatedly tell you, you might have heard it other places also, eat the frog. So start from the most difficult aspects initially only, so that you're done and dusted with that, right? General awareness, again, monthly current affairs. So here they are emphasizing on choosing a magazine. Basically what you can do is either you can choose a magazine or choose a platform. Stop platform hopping. Okay, that means for current affairs, if you have, I'm not asking you to stay on a single platform for all your preparation, that is your call. But if you have chosen a particular platform which you find is very good for current affairs, stick to it. If somebody else gives you 1 or 2 extra topics, don't go rushing there, or somebody is lagging somewhere, don't go rushing there, right? Try to maintain a balance and stick with less resources and repetition of multiple times. That was even agreeable upon, or that was helpful even back then and even today. The process may have changed, the approach may have changed, but the overall structure is still the same. Do you understand? So rather than hunting for multiple concepts and content here and there and maybe going through them once, it is more important that you fix your content and go through them repeatedly. That is more advisable. Okay. In phase 2, so this is actually very important. A lot of people, they fail to realize this. No matter how hard you're preparing, you fail to understand that there is a big difference between how you have been giving exams so far, maybe at your school levels or college levels, versus how you're going to give it now in a competitive version, right? So you are definitely going to have multiple choice questions, and definitely you are very, very time limited, time bound. So there is a strict restraint of time, and to get through maximum number of questions, they're not going to judge you based on questions. Oh, this simple question he got incorrect, wow, he's not worth becoming a railway officer. That's not how they're going to judge you, right? All they're looking for is a simple cutoff score. If you've cleared the cutoff, even if you've done it with only easy questions, no problem. So the idea is you need to be selective on what you solve. If there's a large puzzle based question which you see that there is no short trick for you to solve it, you will have to solve the whole puzzle, okay, and you will end up sitting and solving that in 2 to 3 minutes. You have not won, because even if that puzzle is correct, you have lost your time. You could have solved 3-4 good short questions in that time zone. Do you understand? So try to understand the sensitivity. The examiner is not here solely to check you or to judge you basis on the difficulty level of the questions. It is more time inclined. Hence you will see that the railways exams, SSC exams are almost easy in terms of difficulty levels. If you are sitting idle right now, and if you go through a previous year paper, you will be like, oh, this is very easy. Why am I so scared? And what is this industry going on around it? What preparation we need? I can easily crack this exam. But on the day of the examination, the time and the extra added nervousness, it takes away, the best of the people. So you have to be very careful around these things, and your preparation needs to be focused on this. So learn the art of skipping. The art of skipping means you have to be very selective that whether should I solve it or not. And this decision making ability has to be in there, grained in you since day one. So that by the time you're reaching the peak, you will be able to very smoothly decide whether I want to attempt or not. Okay. And this is actually a path-breaking trip. So you need to go through this, right? Skipping is actually important. Those who are thinking that I have good accuracy and I will not skip any question, they are going to lose no matter what. No matter how smart you are not attempting a paper smartly. And somebody who's probably less smarter than you might go through just because he's skipping. Okay, so be careful about this. Now phase 3, the summit push, that is the final 45 days, as I told you, the marathon series. Marathon means the mock marathons. So you're solving full length mocks here. Sectional mocks you have done here already. In this zone you were practicing sectional tests, okay, for maths, reasoning, for other subjects. Here you are solving full length mocks, okay. Full length mocks, and you are emphasizing on analysis, as I've told you, and parallelly solving previous year papers. A lot of people suggest you should solve both SSC and railway previous year papers. I would say don't go through SSC previous year papers as whole, but go through previous year questions here and there for topics for variation. And I would rather request you, don't go for SSC variations alone, go for various exams where you feel that they are parallel to your railway logics, your railway levels, so that you will understand that okay, various examinations are asking this kind of question from this topic. So I have an exposure through all the various exams which are asking different types of questions from this same topic. Okay, so your confidence level is going to increase. Of course, the time limit is going to restrict it somehow. So be more railway focused, but parallelly expose yourself for specific topics, okay, to other exams also. Okay, so that's the whole idea. So the key timeline, as I have expected, so you can expect it from April to June anyway in this 3-month gap. Of course, this is a very wide gap. I'm not trying to tell you that, oh, it is either in April or in May or in June, and then I'll not come back, predicting that, oh, I said so. No, that's not going to happen. What I'm trying to do here with you is I'm trying to give you a timeline. Expected timeline should be May, June. I'm pulling another month back because there is a feeling that from the new fiscal year itself, probably railway might start its examinations. So if that happens, I'm trying to limit your preparation time. If you think that you have 6 months down the line, prepare yourself for 5 months. If you think there are 5 months down the line, prepare yourself for 4 months. Your preparation plan should be such. So that is the idea of predicting these dates. Otherwise, there is no such prediction which is going to guarantee your expectation, right? But as and when we get more details, as usual, I'll keep on coming here and I'll keep on letting you know that what exactly can be done and what is the prediction. So we will keep on looking at patterns, and if at all we crack something, we'll come here and let you know about the update. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching till here, guys. Hit the like button right away and share this video for other platforms where other students might also be preparing for railway examinations. And if you're new around the platform, or subscribe to the Oliveboard platform right away. Thank you so much for watching till here. I'll see you around till then. You guys take care. Bye bye. Namaskar. Jai Hind.